where Okello Christopher is being tried, you know, since Monday. This has been on the lips of people. It's covered social media, it's covered electronic, the main media stream.
Right.
It has covered that. Then also away from the character of the accused, also the accident that happened, and also the security surrounding the area. People, one was saying they even have snipers on top of buildings, you know, and also what it has pointed out that many Ugandans lack enough knowledge,
right,
or sufficient knowledge on how court works. You know, they thought that formal court is like mob action. But also to the judiciary, and I want to emphasize this, Judy, and to the security, it sends a message of how we treat all suspects. Because sometimes the public may speak and we may water down what they have said, but they have a point.
Right.
When someone says if this one committed murder, the other maybe didn't commit a gruesome murder as this is, but this was brought in, chained feet, chained hands, you know, and all that treatment, and then also this one. It doesn't, the math doesn't add up. But also it points out on the power of knowledge and knowing your rights. Okello is acting this way because he knows his rights.
Yeah.
You know, I want to believe because he's traveled, he's learned, he knows his rights. There was also another, I think it was called Kasolo something, who knew his rights. One time he told court, I'll be busy in Luzira prison. Was on a murder case. Your worship, the date you want me to appear in court, I will not be able to appear. And it was granted. He's a man who refused to have a lawyer. He's a man who asked one time court to give him, was it about 5 million, so that he can gather evidence to defend himself in court. You know, he did so much. Though at the end of that, I think he got about 60 years in prison. 60 or 70. Now I was about 40. By the time he's to come out, I hardly see that he will be alive. Now, that pointed out that there is so much lack of information. But also the other story that has caught my attention is, and for many Ugandans, government or Ministry of Health camped in Lida, where they're going to launch the
Lenacapavir.
Now, this is a much awaited for prevention. It's not a vaccine. It's a prevention against HIV/AIDS, where you get it every after 6 months. That is 2 times a year. And it protects you against acquiring HIV/AIDS.
Right. Why was Liracity the chosen?
Well, it has
venue?
a prevalence rate estimated at about 10%.
Right.
Now, so that means, yes, they need it so very much. But I hope, as it is said, that, well, this is going to be a free drug to be in health facilities. We don't end up finding that some can't access it, because when the Ministry of Health officials talk about the vulnerable people, they're not the rich.
Right.
They talk about sexual ladies of the night.
Right.
They talk about truck drivers, people at the border, those border communities, those vulnerable people in fishing community, you know, areas where there is so much indulgent sex. They talk about these girls in brothels. You know, there are so many now in Kampala. And I want to thank Ministry of Health. Much as they don't come out publicly, but they have a system of which they are working with prostitutes in the fight against HIV/AIDS. Recently, I was working for a certain organization. They wanted me to help to do some work for them. And that is when I discovered that, are you aware, even these girls in brothels, government has a system of meeting them, speaking to them,
right,
giving them protection, empowering them with knowledge. I was happy. Why? Because much as we thought they are forgotten, they're in something that sounds immoral, illegal, but government deliberately has gone there to ensure that even much as they are doing what is nasty to many people and unspoken of, yet done by almost every mature human being,
right,
they are protected. So for me, those are the outstanding stories. But also, the other story I would look at, I know, Julie, you've done this more, is this bill. I've not yet understood things, but I know for you, you've given it more time than I have.
Well, that is the Protection of Sovereignty Bill 2026. But before I even hit on it, the story of Onyum and looking at the events that have transpired, away from what is happening and the facts that are taking place in the media, in line with the retrospect and just reflecting on matters life and faith, I was reminded of the thief who was at the cross with Christ. And when he believed that indeed it was Christ he was with, he said, "Take me with you when you get to paradise, do not forget me." It reminded me of that moment as to the whole situation, how the world operates and how how the Creator looks at all these matters.
But also the Bible, there's where it talks about of an eye for an eye. Now, it also talks about judges in the Bible.
Yeah.
If you remember King Solomon,
Right.
The woman who had, I think, slept over her baby, the baby died. When they were brought before King Solomon as a judge now, sitting on the throne of judgment.
Well, I think matters faith. They do not they do not take away sin. What you've done that it should be forgotten. For every sin, there's a repercussion. That means that if Onyum is found guilty, that is, he'll definitely have to face his repercussions. But at the end of the day, through those repercussions, there's a place of restoration in the eyes of
That's why if you go to Luzira prison, I remember many years ago, I was a very strong preacher of the word. And under church, we used to go to Luzira and preach the gospel. I want to tell you there are many prisoners who confess their sins in Luzira and are moving holy in righteousness and purity, waiting to meet the Lord.
That's the place of restoration.
And we'll find many of them in heaven and wonder why they're there. So that brings back the cross.
That's the place of restoration.
So Julie, you reach there and you find that a pastor is not there.
Because it's
But
possible.
maybe Alinaitwe, you find him there.
Right. Now, anyways, a quick look at what the Protection Sovereignty Bill says, which is very controversial. The hearts of many Ugandans. One, it's a bill designed to protect Uganda from foreign influence, but it's also written broadly enough to treat a Ugandan family receiving money from a relative living abroad as a potential national security. And some of the provision it contains therein under the bill, a Ugandan citizen living outside Uganda is classified as a foreigner, and one receiving money from them is classified as an agent of a foreigner. And before a bank releases that money, it would be required to obtain ministerial funding, declaration, and proof of authorization from the Minister of Internal Affairs. Now, one would wonder what of money that is received from mobile money. And anyways, the bill also contains no exemption for remittances. Very tricky indeed, given that, of course, we also have many.
This time we want to look at our parliament. You know, sometimes you can make, I was told of one, I think he was a former vice president, the late Muwanga, when he was in office. One time he was told that prisoners in Luzira do not have blankets or mattresses or something. He said, but a prison is not a hotel. Now he ended up there and he was asking, but where is this, where is that? They told him, but sir, you did say that now. This bill,
prison is not a hotel.
Many of the people who have children up outside, families, relatives, some of them are the well-to-do families, of which a number of them are in parliament.
True. We see where it's going. We watch as
we
to
don't
how
want them to crave over 5 million to treat the old, yet their children are just failing to send them money because of the law.
Definitely. So now on that note, let's take a look at what we have on the local scene. With you, Robert.
Well, we begin with at least 7 people who have been arrested and 50 illegal sand mining boats destroyed and 8 trucks impounded in a joint operation by NEMA, Ministry of Water and other sister agencies. The operation targeted hotspots in Impigi and Kalungu districts alongside the busy Masaka Road. One of the hubs of illegal sand mining, National Environment Management Authority, Ministry of Water and other sister agencies conducted a joint operation that saw several illegal sand miners arrested, trucks impounded, and boats destroyed. The operation to crack down illegal sand mining was prompted by increasing environmental degradation, particularly in the wetland area of Rera, where uncontrolled sand extraction has led to destruction of biodiversity, weakening of natural water filtration systems, and heightened risks of flooding. At Gwanika village in Nabwewanga sub-county in PG district, authorities impounded 8 Sino trucks that were used in illegal sand transportation. In Muzungu village, Rera in Kamwanga sub-county, Kalungu district, 50 boats used for illegal sand mining were destroyed. Even 7 suspects were arrested while 1 miner fled the scene. Temporary structures at different illegal sand mining sites were also demolished. Some of the affected truck drivers whose vehicles were impounded claimed that they were misled by site owners who allegedly assured them that the sand mining sites were licensed. The impounded trucks were transported to Kampala. Government has intensified efforts to ensure proper use of public funds with a renewed call for stronger accountability to benefit ordinary Ugandans. Prime Minister Robert Nabanja said internal auditors must take a lead role in identifying misuse of government resources and ensuring value for money in public programs. Speaking at the 20th annual Internal Auditors Conference at Speaker Resort Munyonyo, Nabanja assured auditors to focus on high-risk areas that could derail service delivery, especially in initiatives like the parish development model. She emphasized the need for auditors to remain independent, act with integrity, and work closely with oversight instructions to fight corruption. Nabanja described auditors as key goalkeepers of public resources and called on them to be patriotic and courageous in their duties. The President Institute of Internal Auditors, Ruth Doreen Mutebi, stressed accountability in the use of government funds. The conference aimed at strengthening auditing practices to support service delivery and social-economic transformation. Judge Alice Komuhanji Kauka is presiding over the murder case of 4 children against Christopher Okello, with the court sitting at Gaba Ali Childhood Development Center, Pitch. The accused, Christopher Okello Onyum, appeared in court at around 11:30 a.m. At the start of the session, Justice Kauka read out the medical report from Luzira Government Prison regarding the health status of the accused. Meanwhile, prosecution witness Hashim Juma, a car hire operator who allegedly hired out a vehicle to Okello, concluded his testimony. He told court that he had communicated with the accused through WhatsApp as well as through direct phone calls. The WhatsApp extracts showing communication between Christopher Okello Nyuma and Hashim Juma were presented in court and admitted as prosecution exhibits. During cross-examination, Juma was questioned by the defense, which pointed out inconsistencies in his earlier statements to police, where he had indicated that the accused appeared mentally sound during their communication and dealings. Prosecution witness Mukasa Paul, a 33-year-old resident of Bunga Gaba in Makinde Division, Kampala District, and a businessman dealing in shoes in Owino Market, testified before the court. He stated that he was one of the landlords of the accused Christopher Okello Onyum in Bunga from November 2025 to March 2026. Mukasa told court that during the time Okello was his tenant, he appeared social and interacted well with neighbors and children. Another prosecution witness, Makai Joel, a resident of Kisasi and the manager of Sanswiz Estate Limited, located in Chanja, Katumba village, also testified about Okello in court. Documents detailing items recovered from Christopher Okello's house in Chanja were tendered in for court identification and admission as evidence. However, the defense objected to their production. Court will resume today. And closing our local stories this morning, Rebecca Kadaga assured that rationalization of selected cross-border procedures within the East African community, citing restrictive travel documents requirements in Tanzania and trade-related bottlenecks in Kenya. She further proposed the establishment of a direct Entebbe-Goma air link to enhance regional mobility, while observing that central bank governors remain measured, at times resistant, regarding the adoption of a common currency. She made the remarks while addressing Umoja Amani Kwanza Uganda delegates at her office in Kampala. The delegates representing Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Somalia, and Rwanda convened in Kampala for a high-level engagement with Rebecca Kadaga, focused on advancing regional integration and multilateral cooperation. In her address, the former speaker and the current Minister for East African Community Affairs called on partner states to demonstrate full adherence to the East African Treaty by dismantling persistent non-tariff barriers and streamlining border management frameworks. On the proposed East African Monetary Union, she noted that progress remains low, with central bank governors maintaining a deliberately conscious posture as complex technical, physical, and policy harmonization issues continue to be evaluated. The delegates commended her sustained leadership in championing regional cohesion, acknowledging her role in fostering constructive dialogue, policy alignment, and deeper integration among partner states. The engagement concluded with a renewed commitment from both sides to strengthen regional cooperation, underscoring sustained dialogues, policy coordination, and collective political will as critical enablers of meaningful East African community integration. Now that brings us to the end of our local stories. Let's see what Julie has gathered for us from the international scene.
Right, Robert, I have a question. Have you watched a series called The Crown?
Julie, I have not. I'm so much into political documentaries, movies, and once in a while, I'm into action.
Right. You know, but movies tell stories, even political stories, because it could be a series on a political story. But The Crown is one you need to watch if you're interested in the story of the royal family in England. It will broaden your perspective as to how events unfold and why events unfold as they do. But
I hope it's a one-off watch, not a continue.
It's a series.
Then I can't
6
have.
seasons.
Judy, I can't have that time, to be honest.
6 seasons, 10 episodes each season.
I just can't have that time.
But that series reminds me of, what has reminded me rather of that series is the Duke and Duchess of Sussex that are visiting Australia currently. And it's one of the stories we're looking at as we look into what the global scene has for us. Of course, Malema is on there, South Africa's prominent opposition politician. But starting off with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, they have spoken to survivors of and emergency responders from the Bondi Beach shooting on the 4th day of the Australian visit. Volunteer lifeguards and community leaders met the couple at the beach in Sydney, where 15 people were killed and 40 injured at Hanukkah event in December. The couple have been visiting Eastern Australian cities, including Canberra and Melbourne. Prince Harry and Meghan arrived at Bondi Surf Bathers Life-Saving Club on Friday morning, where they spoke to Jessica Chapnik-Khan and Elon Ziza, who both survived the shootings while shielding their children. Bondi lifeguards, who were held as heroes for protecting members of the public during the attack, also met the pair. Now, representatives of the Sydney Jewish Museum, which is opening an exhibition dedicated to the attack, also attended, describing Prince Harry and Meghan's visit a really special one. The couple were later welcomed by hundreds of fans who had lined the steps of the Sydney Opera House, where they boarded a boat for a sailing event hosted by Invictus Australia. All right, Away from Australia, let's go back to the United States. As always, never misses a bulletin here. United States President Donald Trump's goal of erecting a colossal arch in Washington, D.C. has taken another step forward, with a key agency approving his proposed design for the monument. Now, the U.S. Commission of Fine Arts, whose members were appointed by Trump, gave its go-ahead to the president's design for a lofty 76-meter-high arch. If given final approval, the arch would be built on Memorial Circle between the Arlington National Cemetery and the Lincoln Memorial. It would tower above other landmarks in the national capital. White House spokesperson David Single hailed the commission's approval as a step in accomplishing President Trump's promise to the American people from the campaign trail to make America safe and beautiful again. I think that's part of the MAGA, Make America Great Again. But the arch has faced criticism, including for potentially obscuring views of the National Cemetery and resting place of for war veterans. Public Citizen Litigation Group is representing some Vietnam War veterans in a lawsuit against the proposed construction, which they argue needs congregational approval. On to the story regarding Julius Malema. Leading South African opposition politician Julius Malema, who's 45 years, has been sentenced to 5 years after being found guilty of the illegal possession of a gun and firing it in public. But Magistrate Tonet Olivier allowed the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, an MP, to appeal against the sentencing, meaning that he was not immediately taken to prison. Earlier, standing in court in a dark suit and red tie, Malema showed little emotion as Olivier read out the sentence, even though his political future was at stake. Last year, he was convicted of 5 offenses, including the unlawful possession of a firearm, in discharging it in public, and reckless endangerment. If his sentence is upheld, Malema will be disqualified from being an MP for 5 years. However, political analyst Sandile Swana told the BBC that the appeals process was likely to take several years, so the EFF leader would be able to pursue his political career. In the meantime, the charges related to an incident in 2018 when a video emerged showing Malema firing a semi-automatic rifle in the air during his party's 5th anniversary celebrations held in the country's Eastern Cape province. Well, that's it for what we have on the global scene. Let's take a quick look at what the dailies carry this morning.
Well, beginning with the New Vision this morning, we have best, worst performing districts, weak staffing, funding gaps, drag down struggling areas. And of course, we have ranking in number 1, we have Bushenyi, 2 Uganda, then we have Masaka City, Gulu, Mubende. Well, the list is in the Vision this morning. And returnee arrested with $10 million cash at Entebbe Airport. Wow. There are better ways to bring that money. How Minister Kasaija built his farm.
Does the farm have the handshakes?
No. They couldn't be by this time. Now, Army joins 13 billion gold scam probe. And still looking at the New Vision this morning, the beat, my journey to making award-winning films. Who is that? And Imam, daughter killed in Kagadi home. Very unfortunate. And also pastor's wife killed in gang attack. Well, a picture there and tracing suspects' movements before arrest. Now, Uganda's security rooted in People's Army, says President Yoweri Museveni. Allow me quickly go through the Daily Monitor this morning. And Okello fit to stand trial, medical report. You know, he's a sickle cells warrior. But this prison said, well, he's improved, he's in stable health to stand trial. And here we have bye-bye USAID. What is involved in there? The Daily Monitor. Now, pain at pump, how the 200 shillings fuel tax will drive up costs. Yes, people may go back to calculating. Right. Should I leave the car, use a boda?
Should I walk?
Should I walk? Must I drive all the way? Must all the 3 cars we have go? Or can we use one? I'll pick madam. You know? And maybe jam will reduce, you never know. Because you have a Julie living, driving, a wife, a husband driving, then their university son driving, also a secondary driving.
Right.
And still moving on, finally, best and worst performing local governments named, and URC introduces school training services to cut traffic jam. Well, Julie, what do you have?
Well, the Citizen on there, government plans to align growth investment with DIRA 2050. That's the headline on there. The Citizen, and Blue Economy Study calls for people-centered reforms. And a quick look at what the Daily Nation should have this morning. Ruto walks a tightrope. That's the headline for the Daily Nation, representing Kenya. Dilemma: a sharp rise in fuel prices due to Iran war presents a fresh headache. And ODM suspends 2027 coalition talks, with UDA. All of those stories to get yourself and delve deeper into them. But let's also have a look at what the Gazette has this morning. And of course, as always, the table of contents displayed on there. But looking at some of the notices to pay heed to, we do have a church to notice as a place of celebration of marriage. The church is Kingdom Faith Power Center Church of Born Again denomination. Village is Chiwafu West. Parish is in Chiwafu Sub-County, Entebbe Division, County Division B, and District Wakiso, given under the hand of Honorable Norbert Mao as of the 2nd day of April 2026. And it is hereby notified that exploration license number EL00675, registered as number 003729, has been granted in accordance with the provisions of the Section 42 and 46 to East African Extractive Partners Limited. PO Box 178819, Kampala, for a period of 4 years, effective 6th March 2026. And this is given under the hand of Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa Sentamu, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development. Also, in exercise of the powers conferred by the Section 29 of the Education Pre-Primary, Primary and Post-Primary Act, CAP 247, I hereby appoint the following persons to the Board of Governors of Palisa Secondary School with effect from 23rd February 2026. And the names therein: Reverend Father James Achara, Engineer Kasita John Chris, Ikilai Victoria, Nalukenge Susan, Omedo Olupot Tadeus, and parents representatives are Kezia Dorothy Otim and Esupan John Michael Winfred. All of that as dated as 23rd February 2026 in the Gazette for you. Now that brings us to the end of the updates we have this morning, but let's have a short break. It's a Friday, just so that you remember that you're starting your weekend.
So is there some, how does Trump do it?
Let's go for a short break, and when we get back, perhaps we'll be coming back to dance like
Have you watched Mini Trump?
I will be right back.
Mini Trump, huh?
Who's Mini Trump?
Well, go on TikTok, there's Mini Trump. A short guy, yeah, my height mate.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala,
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV this morning. It's a Friday, TGIF. Thank God it's a Friday. Woo. That moment where you look forward to a weekend and a moment to just pause and breathe. But even then, even if it's still a Friday, UBC TV is here to inspire Uganda. That's why we never stop. We still keep you informed, even as we lead you into a place of relaxing. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. And this start of the weekend, let's look at some of the stories that have made news. But first and foremost, good morning to you, and good morning, Robert.
A lovely morning to you, sister. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you, sister? I did not see that coming. I didn't see that coming, but I'm well, thank you.
Yeah, yesterday
well?
we had Omutaka Wechikacha
Chengonge.
Chengonge. So it got to remind me that we come from the same clan.
Yes, you and I are clanmates.
Yeah, clanmates. So when I say sister, Abaganda bali eyo wano tulwana bazukulu
Bamugema.
Simanyi omanyi omulamwa gwaffe bwe guvugamba.
Omubala.
Omubala.
Talyanchima. Senyenku. Senyenku.
There we go.
I've missed up. I've missed up on that one, but it's in that line.
At least I know it has something. Tabenku Chenyama Mugabafa Tuseko Mulala. Syria Antula. I'm also not that very good at it.
And then the Kabilo, are you good with your Kabilo?
Judy, good morning once again. Let's do the English show.
Surely, indeed, what has trended for you this morning?
Well, if there is anything this week that has been trending is the court, the High Court sitting,
right.
Gaba Early Childhood Development Center, where Okero Christopher is being tried. You know, since Monday. This has been on the lips of people. It's covered social media, it's covered electronic, the main media stream.
Right.
It has covered that. Then also away from the character of the accused, also the accident that happened, and also the security surrounding the area. People, one was saying they even have snipers on top of buildings. You know, and also what it has pointed out, that many Ugandans lack enough knowledge,
right.
or sufficient knowledge on how court works. You know, they thought that formal court is like mob action. But also to the judiciary, and I want to emphasize this, Judy, and to the security, it sends a message of how we treat all suspects. Because sometimes the public may speak and we may water down what they have said, but they have a point.
Right.
When someone says if this one committed murder, the other maybe didn't commit a gruesome murder as this is, but this was brought in, chained feet, chained hands, you know, and all that treatment, and then also this one. The math doesn't add up. But also it points out on the power of knowledge.
To buy.
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
How are you as a tour and travels dealing with the problem of the middlemen? People who take your clients, pretend to, overmanage.
Imagine a tourist comes to a country, they are into the park with a taxi driver, they are not getting the right information. Literally, when these tourists leave the country, trust me, they have nothing to tell.
This week, we chill with a young man that has made a name in the tour and travel industry under the brand Travel Specialist that is rooted in quality financial discipline and collaboration.
Yeah, my name is Roger Zakampulira, and I am a CEO from the Uganda Travel Specialists. I'm also a managing director at Tulije Tours and Travels, and I handle a couple of projects in Kenya and Uganda as well.
He built his brand from nothing using social media and personal networks.
My first business, I started up a small company. Yeah. It wasn't even actually registered, but I just decided to open up a company that I pushed online, though it wasn't yet registered.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
How are you as a tour and travels dealing with the problem of the middlemen? People who take your clients, pretend to, overmanage.
Imagine a tourist comes into a country, they are into the park with a taxi driver, they are not getting the right information. Literally, when these tourists leave the country, trust me, they have nothing to tell.
This week, we chill with a young man that has made a name in the tour and travel industry under the brand Travel Specialist that is rooted in quality financial discipline and collaboration.
Yeah, my name is Roger Zakampulia, and I am a CEO from the Uganda Travel Specialists. I'm also a managing director at Tulija Tours and Travels, and I handle a couple of projects in Kenya and Uganda as well.
He built his brand from nothing using social media and personal networks.
My first business, I started up a small company. Yeah. It wasn't even actually registered, but I just decided to open up a company that I pushed online, though it wasn't yet registered.
On his 52nd birthday, General MK invites you for a charity run. The run will be held on 26th April 2026 at the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds starting at 6 a.m. Get yourself a kit using this MTN and Airtel payment platforms. Run for charity, run for hope.
Run for charity, run for hope.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation, when people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Our program of poverty eradication is a must. We want everybody to be involved.
Through the parish development model, Ugandans are starting small but impactful projects to improve their livelihoods.
When we give 1 million, we know it's not enough to do many things, but it's a starting point.
I'm a PDM beneficiary, a farmer. Your Excellency, I was given 1 million Uganda shillings from Kobil Kawo PDM Sacco. Your Excellency, I got 20 bunches from my small piece of land sold, got 400,000, put in the PDM farm, Your Excellency, in the PDM money, Your Excellency, I bought a cow of 1,400,000.
In 1 year, 100 families in the parish get. In 5 years, 500 families would have got.
We were the first people to receive money from Nakaprepret. I received $1 million. I rented 4 acres of land and I was able to harvest 14 bags.
So really this 1 million is enabling somebody to start something. Yes, and we don't want to give too much money to one person because we have got very many people to cover.
The parish development model empowers the people, focusing on lifting up the masses and creating opportunities that ensure prosperity for all. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Njagala okwebaza olw'enteekateeka eno gavumenti gye yatondawo ey'okulaba nga omuntu wa wansi, omuntu omuwejjero wa ghetto afiibwako. Nti nga ghettos eriyo embeera eyaliwo nga si nnungi. Okugezesa ddala mu nteekateeka eno nga tennajja, abaana bangi baakwatibwanga, naye bukya enteekateeka eno ejja, bintu bingi bituukiddwako, naddala mu nteekateeka z'ebyokwerinda, security, wamu n'enkulaakulana. Nga tuyita mu nkola gye bayita eya ghetto structure. Ghetto structure kwe kulonda obukulembeze okuviira ddala ku ghetto esootebwako ku kyalo, ne tubeera ne ba coordinators ku muluka, paka eno gye tuli. Omwaka guno yatuwa ssente obukadde 10 wano emikono twabufuna. era mu nfuna ya ssente zino twagala okwebaza Oweekitiibwa Pulezidenti. Ssente zino ziyambye nnyo abantu ba ghetto. Abantu ba ghetto nakubadde gavumenti ebadde n'emiwaatwa mingi gyeyisaamu ssente zaayo okutuuka ku bantu zibayambye, naye ssente ezo zibadde tezituuka ku bantu ba ghetto. Ssente zino bannaghetto tuzibawadde era bazifunyeemu. Ebiseera ebisinga wali emabega abantu ba ghetto abamu baali bennyamivu nga bamanyi nti gavumenti yabavaako, era ng'osanga abantu abamu mu ghetto nga tebalinaamu nsonga. Oli akugamba ekimbeeza mu ghetto noonyeza emirimu Uganda wonna gibuze. Naye twagala okusiima Pulezidenti w'eggwanga kubanga ssente ze yatuwa twazifuna, era gwe guno omulundi ogwasookera ddala nga bannaghetto mu Uganda, era twagala okumwebaza okutwagalira ddala n'atuwa ne ku ssente ezikola. Ffenaffe twagala kumusuubiza nti abalaba gye bamulabira nti akadde ate kati ffe olw'okuba yakatutandikako tulaba nga yakavubuka, era twagala n'okumulaga amaanyi 26 oba ki ebyatuswaza edda mu mukono twagala okubimalawo mu 2026 tugatteko amaanyi tumwebaze olw'omutima ogwagala abantu ba bulijjo naddala ffe bannaghetto.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV this Friday. It's a Friday and we talk about different issues affecting us, but on a rather lighter note, while we'll continue to learn, unlearn and relearn. 0709-602 by text WhatsApp for you to be part of the show. 0709-602-592. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. Now this morning, we're looking at strikes in schools. It had been a minute since I'd last heard of strikes in schools until sometime this week, where a story erupted from West Nile regarding 3 schools, Nyailo Secondary School and Daystar Secondary School in Koboko municipality, where these 2 schools have clashed over the years and the students were forced to go back home for about a week. But also Nyangilia Secondary School, where students striked because of failure to address their concerns, especially regarding their headmaster, who was deemed unfit to lead the school because of extreme alcoholism and destruction of property therein, property such as the trees within the school and extreme corruption, and among other allegations by the students towards this headmaster. So let's look at the issue of strikes in schools. 0709-602-592. Have you been part of one? It would be nice to hear your experience and your opinion in there. In your opinion, what measures can be implemented to effectively address the growing incidence of strikes in schools? The hashtag on X is at hashtag UBCJMU, at UBCTV Uganda, and by text WhatsApp 0709-602-592. Now, Robert, let's kick this off. A strike is quite evident in talking about it and thinking about it, or maybe viewing it, perceiving it. But what definition do you give a strike?
Of course, it is now for the side of students in a school setting. It is where students engage in violence,
right,
to express their grievances And when I talk about violence, it includes damage of school property. Some even go outside the school to broaden the impact of their strike and start spoiling, damaging people's property, looting businesses. Macquarie University, whenever they would strike, the whole of one day they are there. Some would even go and eat free food. Some would, you know, to create a bigger impact of the strike. Now for the school setting, now you'll find that in some schools they either go to the library, remove the books. Some, worst even set classrooms, or mostly classrooms ablaze. So it is a form of expressing dissatisfaction by students that involves violence. Yes, we rarely see peaceful sit-down strikes by students. Theirs are always violent to create an impact and cause action. For example, this school, when students talk about the incompetence of their headmaster, he's cutting down trees in schools for charcoal, and they had given an ultimatum of 3 days. Remove him or we shall take action. Now, I think after a meeting, including prefects, they discovered, the district security committee discovered that, no, let's not wait for these 3 days. Let's send the students back home as we investigate to find out these accusations. And
looking at the definition of as you've rightfully said it, for a minute, it had skipped my mind that, of course, universities have strikes all the time, quite a lot. Public universities, especially here in CBD, we're quite used to many of them. And when it comes to universities, sometimes you tend to outlook them as a school space, yet it actually is a school space. But yet, it's been a while since we last had a rampant rampant stories of strikes in high schools. I've never heard of any in primary schools. Have you ever heard of any? In a primary school, mostly high schools. But let's look at the causes. Why do you think these strikes actually happen? Of course, one would consider the energy these students have. Yes, they're aggravated, they have points, but many a times you find that those who are older tend to think that they have nowhere to spend their energy and they're using it the best way they feel possible. But in your view, what are the causes of strikes in schools?
First, I want to say that a number of strikes students carry on are justified. You know, Africans, we tend to underlook students.
Children.
Or children, in general, children. We tend, what will a senior 2, senior 6, what will they do? But even in homes, when all of people are thinking about certain things, they don't think how this impacts on children. For example, domestic violence. You know? Now, because we underlook children, in a number of schools, we've not set up mechanisms through which children can air their views and are listened to. In a number of schools. That's why you find in some schools that have set up proper channels, proper school management, proper reporting, it is hard to hear of a strike there because action is dealt with as soon as possible. Now, when students have issues and they are not listened to, first it is adamancy of school administration. Many school administrators are very adamant in listening to the voices of the students. Very adamant. The students are complaining. They want to apply threats on these students. Threats shall expel you. Expel a few. We shall expel you. But you're not thinking of what is causing the students to behave this way. How should we handle the issues at hand? Then also, bring them on board if the problem is still hard, so that they can also bring the students' leadership, include the students in some key decision makings. But what happens in most of our schools, it is dictatorship. School authorities dictate, period. There are some strikes that have come out as very funny, denying the boys and girls a leavers party. Now, For the school administration, the headmaster stands and says, this year, you senior 4s, you senior 6, I will not even allow this to happen in this school as long as I'm the director. I mean the headmaster. But there has been a legacy set, generations, that this is an activity that happens. To us, it may look minor. But for the students, it is an activity. It has been there for years and years. Some have waited for this. It is a time to feel good as you're saying bye-bye. To some, it has been even an inspiration. You never know. That time, some, maybe that's when I'll get the first suit in my life, because they'll buy me a suit, and it is light. But to the school administration, it is normal. So, students not being listened to.
Right.
2, not setting up proper channels from which they can air their views and concerns. But also, poor administration. What do I mean by poor administration? By the time students bring issues like
corruption, mismanagement of property,
of school property, these children are watching these things. And there's a headmaster that will come or posted by government to an institution, and believe you me, even those under him fear. I was sent here by so. You know, in Uganda, in positions, we have a way of clinging to people and saying there are reasons we're in these places.
The gamba no good.
not that. Someone comes in an institution and says, from here was set here by State House. And then there are few who believe, yes. So he intimidates everybody there. Comes in a school, a headmaster, hey, don't touch that headmaster. He was sent from a top ministry official. He can cause your transfer. Now, no one is holding this person accountable.
Right.
While the students are suffering. Poor feeding. Some of these strikes, poor feeding. Students who come and say, no, we can't eat like we are pigs. The money sent, the money our parents pay, the money this. Someone is just taking that and saying as long as they have eaten. So, lack of systems, but also I want to go back to child upbringing.
In fact, I wanted to also just highlight the bit of individual issues in there. Because what happens at school is also a reflection of what they're facing at home, if you think about it.
Now, there are some children who have grown up in violent homes.
Yeah.
And because they have grown up in violent homes, their method of addressing any challenge is through violence. That there's that category that this child has grown up in a violent home. All she knows is violence to survive. Violence as a form of speaking out. But also nowadays we have children who have been brought up right from home that speak out, very empowered. Child that can ask daddy, it's Sunday, you're supposed to be home. Where are you going? We know we eat lunch with you on Sunday.
And she has the right to.
But since you're driving out, hey daddy, no, that's not how we do things here, daddy. No. At my age, I couldn't say that to my father. In our days.
Yeah.
But now there are children who come from families and also some schools that empower children to speak out. Now, when these children who speak out, some would say poor bringing up, but you bring up a child ready to face the world, ready to question and hold people accountable.
Right.
Now, when that child is brought in a school environment where he can't breathe, not being listened to, not being understood, she's seen as a waizeka, as promoting certain. At the end of the day, when you have quite a number of those in a school, they can put others into action. Then bandwagon, group influence. Some of these strikes, I remember I survived one. But you know, you would even ask yourself, because for us we said, no, we are going to have our exams. And when we looked through people leading the strike, they were the academic dwarfs. So automatically we said, no, you people, you don't want us to have exams because you're not ready. But for us who are ready, we are not part of it.
Right.
But they had gathered others, so there's that peer pressure. You ask these students, many of them why were you part of this strike? Well, it just like you see Machuepo on the streets of Kampala. In a second, remember, I just finished campus and just began working when the Mabila riots kicked off. It was my first time to see how people in Kampala, the number of many, sometimes don't join. You know what they call joining the bandwagon? Hey, muli kuchi, take a kasarambira. Hey, like, but I mean, you came home, you were going.
So wait, you actually joined the strike, unbeknownst of what was happening.
Yeah, you would see people joining, because for us we knew. I was an environmentalist. And I remember there was one called Frank something, Mama Mavila currently, John Kennedy Luchamuzi. So we had these clubs at campus. And of course they would come and inspire us. So that thing was well organized, by the way. So the first meeting was at Rock Gardens. So for us, we knew why we are in this thing.
Okay, right.
Why we are pushing to protect our... But along the way, people would find out, Mulikuchi. Hey, okay. So I would wonder how people would jump in.
Is that a high degree of too much peace, lack of what to do? What?
Up to today, I still ask myself, and even when it went violent, remember there was an Indian around, not to be that. So I'm trying to show, but even mature people, now if mature people can just jump onto something, what about these young ones?
Wow, the things that happen when it comes to school strikes. We're looking at school strikes, and good morning, Julie and Robert, that school management should always have discussions with students as early as possible to avoid misunderstandings which may lead to dangerous strikes. I'm Brenda Nwamanya from Kabale District, and this particular submission leads us to solutions. What do you think can be done? Looking at the chaos that's happening in West Nile, and there is another place a story you are following up on, another story of still students who are beating up another student. I understand there's also strikes of just competition from schools. Schools feeling powerful of each other and they just attack each other.
There are some that have named themselves in Western Uganda, they are enemies. When they have a football match, you know, those schools very recently actually, police had to step in. I think arrest, steal and fire bullets. Now we have 6 Ngoma SS students arrested for attacking a student of Umbale Progressive. They are at Nakakole police station on aggravated robbery. But what should be done? One, Ministry of Education and Sports should ensure students have proper channels, the structure of schools, proper channels through which they can air their views. Now, school administrators, the headmasters, those concerned should have a listening ear and an eye to solve problems before they escalate to a strike, because they don't just wake up one day. There are underlying factors. It just happens like a volcano. The climax of everything is the strike. Let's understand. Let's have this at the back of our mind. Teachers, these are students, but they are human beings. And they are growing up. And also don't forget, they're in another generation. This generation is totally different from the generations you're in, where students were just yes, yes. And even in those days, you see bloody strikes. So we don't want this. Be listening, and also, most important, don't interfere with students' leadership. You know the most problem in secondary schools, where you're supposed to vote for prefects, for leadership that students believe will air out their views. You wonder how the director, the headmaster, intervenes.
A lot
appointing
to learn
or influencing the electoral process. One time I was removed from an electoral process because they believe, no, that one is so vocal and will be a problem. But I was the people's choice.
A lot to learn from these stories, indeed. And as Robert has said, schools do not interfere with student leadership. Just guide, but allow the children to learn on their own these exercises within the boundaries that govern them and keep them as responsible citizens for the Uganda that they are growing up for. Thank you so much for being on the show. We're having another conversation in just a bit. So for now, stay tuned as you continue to watch Good Morning Uganda, the Friday edition. Good morning.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby,
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
On his 52nd birthday, General MK invites you for a charity run. The run will be held on 26th April 2026 at the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds starting at 6 a.m. Get yourself a kit using these MTN and Airtel payment platforms. Run for charity, run for hope.
Run for charity, run for hope.
How are you as a tour and travels dealing with the problem of the middleman? People who take your clients, pretend to, overmanage.
Imagine a tourist comes to a country, they are into the park with a taxi driver, they are not getting the right information. Literally, when these tourists leave the country, trust me, they have nothing to tell.
This week, we chill with a young man that has made a name in the tour and travel industry under the brand Travel Specialist that is rooted in quality financial discipline and collaboration.
Yeah, my name is Roger Zakampulia, and I am a CEO from the Uganda Travel Specialists. I'm also a managing director at Tulije Tours and Travels, and I handle a couple of projects in Kenya and Uganda as well.
He built his brand from nothing using social media and personal networks.
My first business, I started up a small company. Yeah. It wasn't even actually registered, but I just decided to open up a company that I pushed online, though it wasn't yet registered.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation, when people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes, and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Have a conversation with a pastor, something for you to learn and hear from, as well as engage. Most importantly, my name is